With so many babies means there's so much stuff, am I right? You'll use something with a newborn for about 3 months and then you'll never need it again. Toddlers, of course, they change their minds about their favorite toys. One day they're using a garbage truck, the next day they don't want anything to do with it. So what do you do with all that stuff? How do you get it out of your house, and how could you make a little bit of money? So before I was a mom, I had no idea what a consignment sale was. I really truly didn't understand the concept enough and didn't really understand what you needed to do to make it happen. So now I love it. I consign my stuff in the spring and in the fall every single year. I make some money and I declutter my house. So I thought it could be helpful if I showed you how to get rid, how to sell all your baby and kid stuff. Let's head on into my house and let's get started. So the first thing I always do right before a consignment sale to get ready for it and to get all that stuff that you can sell is I walk around my house. Step 2, you walk around the house again. You gotta grab everything that you think you may wanna sell and definitely that the babies are no longer using. So let's walk again. And the third step, did you guess it yet? Yep, you walk around your house again. And do not forget to go into your garage because those are some of the best-selling items, strollers and bikes and equipment. So make sure you head into your garage. So after you walk around your house and you get all the items that you're going to sell at the consignment sale, you need to group the items for the sale. So I love Whale of a Sale here in Indianapolis. I consign with them during the fall and I consign with them during the spring. So it's really important that I group my items right away, knowing what categories they use. So baby equipment, nursing, clothing, toys, electronics, costumes, that has one, maternity, mattresses, decor. Each item will get its own category because each item will have its own tag, and that's really important. So for those of you who are new to the whole consignment thing, like I was just a year ago, one of the best things is that it's all online. So you go into your consignor account and you'll be able to add each item that you want to sell in that account. You'll price it to how you want it. You'll be able to actually see then if it sells during the sale and how much it's sold for. So everything's there. It's all digital. It's all online. And you got to make sure though that every single item that you want to sell at the sale gets put into that system and gets its own tag, because this tag is a barcode, and that way it will sell and you'll make that money back into your pocket. So after you've grouped all your toys or all your clothing in the correct category, you need to make sure that you prep the items correctly based on the rules of the sale. So for Whale of the Sale, for instance, they want every item that comes with a battery to have a new battery, right? So the home that gets that toy will be able to use it right away. So if you've got a puzzle, for example, and you're missing a piece, that's a problem. You can't really sell a puzzle if it's missing a piece. So you need to make sure that you go over everything and make sure you have every piece of that toy or that piece of clothing or that piece of equipment. So now every item needs a tag. So this is what takes a little bit longer. I like to do them by groups. So the equipment, you'll start with them. The books, you'll bundle them together, maybe put them in a Ziploc bag, and then put that tag right on that Ziploc bag. I like to do it like that and save my clothing for last. So what do you need? What are the supplies that you need to consign your clothes in terms of how to tag everything? Number one, you need a tagging gun. This is the tagging gun that I got on Amazon. You know me, I don't like to go to the store. I'll link this one below. There you go. Zip ties, also your best friend. You're gonna need these to tie together shoes and to put together clothing bundles that you wanna sell as one unit. Zip ties, you need a lot of these. You're gonna need card stock because you actually have to print out what will end up looking like the tags, the actual tags. And it needs to be not just a flimsy piece of paper, it needs to be card stock. And you print it out on this and then you cut them up and you put them on every single item. You're also gonna need a lot of safety pins. And for Whale of a Sale, for example, the sale that I love is they want everything hung on a hanger. And so for some reason something can't be hung, you likely will end up using a safety pin. So those are the supplies that you need. And you might need some rubber bands. So just know that if you get all that ready before you actually sit down to do the tagging, it will make everything go a lot faster. So how do you tag items? Something like this. This would be marked in nursery. This is one of those easy peasy mats for the toddlers when they're first learning how to eat and they can kind of just grab and go. This is pretty simple. You'd print off the tag and you'd use some packing tape and you just tape it right there on the back, and it would just be displayed just like this, or even right here on the front at the sale. For books, like I said, you could take 2 of them like this. You could put them in a Ziploc bag and bundle them up, and then you could put that tag right on front. For clothing and for something like this, one of those J.J. Cole bundle me's, you want to tag on the tag if you have an option. Obviously, you don't want to damage or destroy the actual item that's going to be sold. So here it is. Use the tagging gun, tag it right there, and it's good to go. Remember, every single item needs a tag, and you got to check your corresponding online system to make sure that everything that you've entered has the correct tagging number, and then you're good to go. It's not that hard, but it will take a lot of time. But remember, if the average consumer makes $450 at a consignment sale, think about your hourly rate. It's worth it. You have to make sure that you're pricing an item to sell it, which means you look at each item independently and you determine, is this item worth 60% off the retail or should I mark it for less? One of the biggest mistakes I made in my first consignment sale is I marked things a little too high because I kind of added that sentimental value to them, right? I thought they were worth a little bit more because, oh my gosh, this was my son's, these were the twins' Christmas outfits, so they have to be worth more than I thought they were. No, you need to make sure that everything is priced to sell. So what does that mean, for example? So clothing brands, those can be priced at 60% of retail. So something like this, a Janie and Jack clothing piece right here, this could be marked at 60%, especially making sure that it's in great condition, there are no stains, it looks fabulous. Equipment, strollers, pack and plays, bikes, electronics, those definitely can be marked at 60% of retail, but everything else needs to be far below that because you want this to sell, right? This is stuff that you don't want in your home, you don't need it, and you want it out of your house and you want to make money on it. So you definitely want to make sure that you price it to sell so it sells during the sale the first few days, and if it doesn't sell until the last day, you make sure that you click that reduce in the online system so then the shopper can get it at 50% of discount, and then when you really don't want to see it ever again, you hit donate. So it's super important that you go into your online system, mark everything, and make sure you're pricing to sell. All right, so now that I've shown you exactly how you consign your stuff and make some money, I thought it would be good to bring in an expert. So enter in my friend Courtney. She's with Whale of a Sale. So again, this is the consignment sale that I love because it's so organized. So Courtney, I want you first to tell us a little bit about your story because I think it's super cool. She's a mom and you realize, like all of us, what the heck do I do with all this stuff?
Yeah, I know. There was such a need for it, but which we really didn't even know. We started this business about 10 years ago. And, what was just maybe for our friends just to kind of swap out, turned into a big business right away because there was such a demand for it.
Really, what are the items that we have to grab from our homes to sell at your sale because they're the best items that sell the quickest?
Okay, well, first, your big ticket items.
Yeah.
No question. So you're going to make the most money off of that. So the baby equipment, the strollers, the pack and plays, the exercisers, the bikes, the trikes, things in your garage. So that's number one. And then the toys, your Fisher-Price toys, American Girl, Disney, any of that kind of stuff. Thomas, that's number two. Third, I would say books. Books are crazy popular. We get so many teachers that come to the sale.
Oh, good.
A lot of grandparents, moms. Everybody likes to buy good books at a great price. So books are great. Shoes are really popular at the sale. And then lastly, your better brand clothing. So, clothing is not the top seller in general, but the better brand, the good stuff, like you pointed out, your Janie and Jack, your Matilda Jane, your Gymboree, the Under Armour, Nike, North Face coats, those are in such demand. So those would be the top 5 that I would say.
And I think it should be pointed out, and I know some people, are going to say, but it just seems easier that they'll do the whole Facebook thing. Right. They'll post like a mattress or a piece of decor or maternity clothes on Facebook, but they'll post it one item.
Yes.
Then you got to tell the people they want to haggle. Then they got to meet them on your porch. I think that is so time consuming.
It's so time consuming.
And instead, I just take all the stuff that I'm no longer using, throw it in my storage unit, and then a month and a half before the sale, it's time to consign.
Yeah.
Do you feel that people do it for that big reason too?
Yeah, so you can look at this as a project, like you mentioned. You sit down and you take maybe one Sunday afternoon and you just bang it out.
Yep.
Whereas if you're selling on Facebook, there's constant. You got to take the pictures. You got to communicate. It's not anonymous either. Good point. All your friends know what you're selling, and then the seller doesn't, or the buyer doesn't show up, and there's so many issues with that. And
I agree.
Maybe a little bit unsafe. So we love that Whale of a Sale is anonymous, and we hear that all the time. And like you said, no haggling over your prices. You set the price. It's on that tag right there, and nobody can come to you and say, oh, will you take $3 for it? Well, you know what? I want $5 for it.
And
that's how I price it
that way. So let's talk about that. Let's talk about the whole price element. So your big thing is you've got a price to sell. I made that mistake my first sale.
And lots of people do.
Okay.
And they do. And we recommend across the board about a third to a fourth of retail price. That's always a good guideline.
Okay.
And hold it up and say, is this still current? If this was from 5 years ago, and it may have been kind of an expensive item, but it's not current anymore. Maybe not the best.
Yep.
So look at how current it is. Would I buy this again? Make sure it's in excellent condition. Our shoppers are looking for really nice stuff. We market Whale of a Sale as an upscale shopping experience. So we have tons of savvy shoppers at Whale of a Sale. So you really need to price your items right. And keep in mind that your stuff has so much competition on the sales floor too. So these things that Nicole has here in her basement, well, we might get like 15 of them.
Which is crazy.
And we group them. We organize it so well that the shopper can look at Nicole's and then everybody else's. And what do you think is going to go first? Obviously the one that's priced best and the one that's in the best condition.
And one thing that I've noticed too at the Whale of a Sale is that somebody will actually look at an item and then go to Amazon or go online to see how much they are at full retail, which is a really good reminder for consignors. So kind of do that yourself, like check and say, okay, that Fisher Price slide, how much does it go for new? Well, I better mark it at least 60% less that. But if you mark it too high, your stuff's just going to sit there on the floor.
Yes. And then to that point, make your stuff look as new as possible.
Good point.
So wipe everything down. Magic erasers are amazing for all kinds of stuff, for shoes especially.
For mom life in general.
Yeah, for mom life in general. Yes. And wipe down all your stuff. Zip up the zippers of your items, button the buttons, and nobody likes to iron, but gosh, a little touch up of an iron. I mean, you are going to really see those results in your consignor check.
And again, an average consignor makes $450.
That's a lot of money. We have plenty of consignors that make over $1,000.
Yeah, I did my first sale. I made over $1,000 because I had an crazy amount of baby stuff to sell. So baby stuff is really the big ticket. All right, so Courtney, thank you for sharing your expertise because again, this whole process, the first time, I understand it can be a little daunting, like you said, but think of it like it's your project. And again, the average consignor makes $450 getting rid of stuff that they don't want in their house. So all the links to Whale of a Sale are right here underneath this video and on my blog, NicolePence.com. So happy tagging, right?
Yeah.
Isn't that what you usually say?
Happy tagging.
There you go.
Thanks, Nicole.
Bye.
Bye-bye.